Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, we're talking about gladiatorial commemoration among the elite. Before, we had been talking about the 99%, the terracotta figurines that anyone could have in their home. Now we're moving to the upper crust, the 1%, and how gladiators would be commemorated and discussed and shown in those contexts. So we'll begin with the floor mosaic, and you'll recall a mosaic is just an array, like a bitmap of small pieces of colored stone that then paint a picture once they're all carefully set out. These are durable products so that you could walk on them, but water damage and other things would happen. That's what we see happening at the bottom and right of this image. But there's still enough here to show us that this is a gladiator in a certain armature called the Hellenikos type, the Greek type. Now, there's a little bit of an irony here, right? Because this is from the Roman East, Cyprus, an area that was, is still today, partly at least, very contestedly, Greek speaking. If you want to look up about modern Cyprus and its history over the past 60 years, please do. But this House of the Gladiator that we're looking at is from a Roman era elite who presumably was a Greek speaking, Greek identifying individual, even if there was at this point no contesting Roman superiority in matters of politics and military. There's still a sense that even in the Roman metropole, while a Greek might be somehow exotic, different, having a Greek soldier fight a Greek armature in the arena would be a way of establishing Roman identity and Roman superiority. In the Greek world, there might be a way that you would feel a certain attachment and identification with this sort of gladiator, that they weren't just all exotic others, that for a multi-ethnic and very diverse empire, a lot of these gladiators who maybe for Seneca, maybe for others at the heart of Rome would have seemed distant and alien, would have been very identifiable. We don't know, at least I don't know, much about the ethnicity and history of the owner of this House of the Gladiator. A lot of this is probably conjectural, but it's a fascinating idea that Greek exoticism could be taken to Rome, put into the arena, used as a tool of uh, ideological and ethnic hierarchy that the Romans put themselves above. But then when it's sent back out to the provinces, out to the margins of the empire, it's appropriated in ways that maybe wouldn't have been predicted if you were seeing this through an exclusively and narrowly Roman lens. Here, for another image from this House of the Gladiator, there's a mosaic that's depicting not a type of gladiator here, but a named one, Lithras, and he's being separated from his opponent, whose name begins with E, apparently, by a Darius. So Darius is a famous Persian king, known from myth, kind of hundreds of a historical figure, but known from hundreds of years before this. But that could be just a kind of stage name or possibly an honorific name for this man who may be a Summa Rudis. It's kind of hard to tell from his costume and what he's holding, what he might be up to. Again, the poor condition of the floor mosaic. I mean, we're lucky to have what we do have here, but it makes it a little bit hard to tell what's going on. But again, there's an attention to the details, definitely interest in the armature type. And we see figures who aren't gladiators, but this is presumably helping to give us a sense of the broader scene. These things would be expensive. Let's just be absolutely clear about that. Don't let the kind of decomposed nature of this image make you think, anyone could have this. This is very much for the elite. There are many different types of mosaic types, a lot of scenes from nature, imagery, myth, but gladiatorial contests and just gladiatorial iconography was a big part of this. So it was Darius somehow attached to this house? Is he a known figure? I don't know, but it's an interesting thing to speculate upon. So we could also look at distinctive reliefs made in stone from tombs built alongside main roads. here again, this is like, especially if we're looking at the left, it's not absolutely incredible craftsmanship that we're looking at, but it is still pretty good. I mean, the fact that this thing has stood up to the weather and the elements for 2000 years should deserve at least some respect from us. But the idea here too is that these are monumental tombs that meant to commemorate the life of somebody who's passed away. These things don't come cheap, and they would be, coming either from the relatives or the estate of the deceased. And if we see this depiction of gladiators here, we can know two things right off the bat. The first is the expense to which one would go to depict these. And then the second would be, with a tomb, you only get one, right? Presumably. I think there are probably some rulers in the history who've made multiple tombs, but there's a sense that this is your one chance to portray something essential about you, your absolute passions, etc. It's not something that has endless real estate. The fact that gladiators are the chosen topic here tells us a lot about the ways that they might be valued. So some of these things we've actually seen from the cover of Futrell's book. This is from a funeral monument of Gaius Lustius Storax, a freedman. That means he had been an enslaved individual, but then became independent. You can read all about him and his funerary monument on Wikipedia. It's a fascinating kind of case study of where these things might go. Here is the full funerary monument as we have it. Again, you can read in to the full details of it, but it is remarkable. I mean, to see something like this, to see images up top that seem to depict something that's bigger, larger, more cultural, familial, but then to see this lower register completely dominated by gladiators. We know how important this was to individuals who had a passion for or were somehow themselves connected to gladiatorial sport. All right, we'll talk about the Romanness of the gladiatorial image in the next video. I'll see you then.